In my previous video, I revealed that I used the Neural DSP Archetype Petrucci for my main recording tone. I used it last Sunday for live worship, and it was such a blessed time of technical simplicity. If you're complaining of having to bring a ton of gear for the Sunday service and already use the laptop on stage for tracks, cues, and click, you might as well be using the same setup for your guitar tone. In this video, I show you how to set up your laptop as an all-in-one rig with some simple gear coming up. Hello and welcome to the video. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Justin and I'm all about worship guitar, helping you sound and play your best for Jesus. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to support these videos and my ministry. If you've met before, welcome back. This video is sponsored by the anonymous benefactor who got me a license for the Neural DSP Archetype Petrucci plugin. Wherever you are, you have my thanks. I'll be dividing the content according to chapters so you can skip to relevant sections, or if you need to re-watch a section while setting up. You need a laptop for processing, but you also need some way of connecting the guitar to the laptop and some way of connecting the laptop to the sound system. You'll need an audio interface which has inputs and may have outputs depending on your specific model. In today's video, I'm going to use the iRig Pro audio interface which has only inputs but no outputs. As you can tell from how beat up it is, I've had this interface for a while and the bundle that I purchased is no longer available from IK Multimedia. For audio outputs, I'm going to use a Peavey USB-P DI Box that sends balanced XLR outputs to minimize noise. What I particularly like about the USB-P DI is the true stereo outputs. Be warned, some interfaces may not have the ability to send stereo pairs through the outputs, or they may mono-sound the stereo output. You'll need any accompanying cables as well as a USB-C adapter if you're using a new-ish laptop like the 2019 MacBook Pro. Quick bonus tip, leave a spare USB-C adapter in your gig bag and never ever take it out. Trust me, there will be a time you will forget your main USB-C adapter. You'll need an MSim plugin and you can decide on two routes which will have slightly different setup procedures. The plugin in standalone mode if it has a feature, or within a digital audio workstation. Which route you go depends on the use case scenario. Are you only playing guitar for service? If you're not using the laptop for other applications on stage, you can run the plugin in standalone mode. Or are you the music director like me who has to trigger tracks from Ableton Live? Then you should be integrating the plugin within the DAW or DAW, which has the benefit of patch and parameter change automation which standalone mode does not have. Open the standalone plugin application, open settings, and locate audio input and output. In my case, I have the iRig Pro for input and the Peavey USB-P for output, so I locate their names in their respective drop-down selection fields. When the audio initializes, play your guitar and double-check if the buffer settings work for you. If your audio is glitching out, increase the buffer size from 128 to 256 to 512 samples, and so on and so forth. If your audio is lagging, decrease the buffer size from 512, 256 to 128 samples and below. For those wondering if older laptops can run a smaller buffer size, I've had success running 128 samples on my 2012 i7 MacBook Pro on 16 gigs of RAM. Open the digital audio workstation, open preferences and locate audio input and output. Like standalone mode, select the appropriate device inputs and outputs, as well as selecting an appropriate buffer size that balances audio performance and lag. Add a new instrument track, select the MSim plugin, load it into the track, and make sure the input-output track settings are correct. You may need to arm the track for recording so that you can hear the process tone via software playback. If your audio interface has a blend knob between the input and the process sound, make sure that the knob is turned all the way to the process side so that there's no dry input signal mixed in. At this stage, you should hear the plugin processing your guitar through the assigned outputs. One of you guys commented in my previous video that the advantage of traditional analog gear is its tactility, the ability to touch and feel physical knobs. With the software approach, almost all of this aspect of gear is removed, save for MIDI control. My little controller is a simple iRig Blueboard that is so called because it is wirelessly connected to my laptop via Bluetooth, with iRig's proprietary software on the laptop serving as a command interface to communicate with programs like DAWs or standalone plugins. The controller works by sending continuous controller or CC and program change or PC messages. PC messages are usually used to change presets, while CC messages usually change parameters within a preset. A big warning, especially for those thinking of using Neural DSP plugins. Like all modern devices, there is some lag between presets. If your control scheme was to program 4 presets for clean, crunch, lead, and ambient and use the controller to switch presets, you're going to have to time your preset changes to avoid dropout and lag. To avoid that preset lag, I use the controller to send CC messages to change parameters within a preset, like toggling an overdrive pedal and changing the delay mix for that edge sound. This is a habit I got from working on Line 6 devices where snapshots change the parameters in a single preset. 4 buttons isn't a lot, but it's sufficient for the following: an overdrive pedal bypass, delay mix high, delay mix low, and reverb shimmer on-off. Hang on, where's the tap tempo? Isn't that crucial for worship music? It is, but there's a way to get around not having it. Stick around to the end and I'll share how. In a future video, I'll be going through how I set up MIDI controllers, including this iRig Blueboard and a giant controller like the Helix with Command Center. In my previous video, I mentioned about getting the most mileage out of single pieces of gear. We'll apply the same principle here regarding dry section and direct section, where we want to get clean, crunch, and lead, as well as basic and thick ambience. For different levels of overdrive, I first set the overdrive with higher gain so that it takes me from clean to lead. Next, I use my guitar volume knob to reduce the gain level from lead to crunch. Now, with one pedal and one volume knob, I can get various shades of clean, crunch, and lead. One more pro tip. Some plugins have incredible touch sensitivity which react to your picking dynamics. In this example, all I did was dig in deeper with the pick to get a crunch tone during the instrumental section. On to the elephant in the room. How am I getting away with not having a dedicated tap tempo? Here's the trick to not having a tap tempo. If your band is already playing the click, and you should because it's the best way to sound tight, set your delay tempo to the one song that needs the edge sound. For example, in our setlist, the song that needed a strict delay time for the edge sound was at 70 BPM. So at the appropriate time, I kicked in the delay high mix button for that song. Here's the cool part. If the other songs in your setlist are roughly around the same tempo, having the delay setting off by 1 or 2 BPM isn't going to be catastrophic. Another song in our setlist was at 72 BPM, and see if you can tell that the delay was off by 2 BPM. See if you can tell. Let's try to hear if the delay was off by 2 BPM. It's hard to tell that the delay setting was off, right? That's just for slow songs. What about fast songs? Unless you're doing something that needs precise rhythmic settings like, you know, that U2 sound. You basically use delay as background ambience and tone enhancement. I'm old enough to remember a time when setting precise BPM values for songs wasn't a necessity. The delay effect was certainly used as an effect, but it wasn't so high in the mix. It was set to low mix, moderate feedback so that the delay sits underneath the guitar to provide a blanket for the notes to sit on. This was the approach taken by the greats like Andy Timmons right here.
And in the effects loop, we actually have 2 Deluxe Memory Man echoes chained together. And I usually have them set at varying delay times, one being around 500 milliseconds and one being around 350 milliseconds. If I'm running stereo in the studio, that's usually the kind of delay ratio I have going on. Like on the Resolution CD, that was pretty much it. I'd be running a couple of different tape echoes set at roughly those settings.
A 70 BPM low mix moderate feedback delay setting sounds something like an 8th note slapback at faster tempos. So to recap, the way to get by without a tap tempo pedal is to set a high delay mix for the one song that needs it, which will likely be a slow song, and turn down the mix for the rest of the set. Or, if you're really insistent, you could always reach over and type in the BPM value into the plugin at an opportune time. Which brings us to today's discussion. Do you see yourself trying out a software solution for your Sunday service needs? Do you have horror stories to share about implementing a laptop-based rig? I'd love to hear your stories, ideas, and opinions in the comment section below. For those of you who want to hear a philosophical take as to why I'm on a laptop-based kick, I did a video previously exploring the blurry line between what I want versus what I need to fulfill my role as a worship team musician. I truly believe that the line is a lot closer to the want side of things than it is to the need. So I'll see you there as we address the question, do I really need all this gear? As always, I'm Justin, and I'm all about worship guitar.